There's one thing you can do right now, every one of us, to basically preserve our future, our truth, and make it easier for those in the future to connect the dots. Okay, I know this is going to seem simple and easy, but it's actually harder than you think. Books.
Only once before have I seen so many books in one place. I was just an ordinary fireman at the time. I wasn't even qualified to use the flamethrower. It's all ours, Montag. Listen to me, Montag. Once to each fireman, at least once in his career, he just itches to know what these books are all about. He just aches to know, isn't that so? Well, take my word for it, Montag. There's nothing there. The books have nothing to say.
Now, books are the way to preserve the future. And if you look, the internet is rife with all these different changes, and they're erasing things right and left. You can check out this video for more on that. But the thing of it is, with books, you're getting, especially with history, you're getting a lot more information than you wouldn't get otherwise. Think about it. Either it's the victors that end up recording history, or more often than not, there are political reasons or otherwise where it's no longer polite or politically correct to say the things that the authors do. And the older books get away with so many different things that go against a lot of the current narratives right now. So the whole idea is to basically get your hands on any older books you can find, comb through them, and find some gold mines and start connecting the dots with these older authors. One of my inspirations for this is Jason Breshears. Check out what he did to get his information. He was basically able to connect the dots in a huge, long timeline, and he wouldn't have been able to do this without the books that he got in prison. Now, obviously, that's an unusual place to get all that. But think about it. He had all this time available to him, and he didn't have to worry about his meals or anything like that. Obviously, he had all kinds of other issues, which, most people don't have to deal with. But still, he had those moments of freedom. Time freedom is one of the more essential elements to figuring out what's going on and to carve out a bit of freedom for yourself so that you can really have an intentionally creative life that basically is a reflection of what you want to do rather than just a reflection of the construct around you. Now, what's cool is it's not just history, but science also, because there's all these different scientists who basically made these discoveries, especially in the 1800s. 1800s, there was all kinds of discoveries and interesting things that were going on that were basically covered up or ignored completely. But if you go back to these authors and you connect the dots between them, then you can see where there are discoveries made that are basically revolutionary to the way we relate to the world, ourselves, our spirituality, and so on. And so it's going back to that time period.
This is 1853 when his materials were compiled. His writings are older than this. This book is absolutely packed with references to many historic writers, to many newspapers, periodicals, journals, scientific reports from the 16th and 17th and 18th century. Basically a pre-20th century reset book. Let's go ahead and defer to the authority of an old book about how rare and how precious old books really are. One of the causes of the universal ignorance which prevailed during the Dark Ages was the scarcity of books, along with their exorbitant price and the difficulty of rendering them into more common means. There still remain several manuscripts of the 8th, 9th, and following centuries written on parchment, from which some former writing had been erased, in order to substitute a new composition in its place. In this manner, it is probable that several works of the ancients perished. A book of Livy or of Tacitus might be erased to make room for the legendary tale of a Catholic saint, or the superstitious prayers of a missal. Many circumstances prove the scarcity of books during these ages. Private persons seldom possessed any books whatsoever. Even monasteries of considerable note had only one book in their possession.
Now, one of the things you can do is to go into your local library and ask for the oldest books they've got on whatever subject that you're interested in. And then from that book, go back to their source material. Look at the material they sourced from. And then you can start getting some books to look into. Because from where they stood, let's say you found a book in 1902. And then the author cites material. Well, obviously, all his material is going to be older. And so you can go through the books that he found. And if you can find those books, then again, repeat the process of looking back at his sources and then seeing where that leads you. And keep going down the rabbit hole and seeing how far you can get and what kind of discoveries have been basically snowed under. Now, once you get this is a gold mine, because think about what Jason Breshears, if you look at what he's done, his channel has exploded, and it's continuing to explode because he's revealing so many different truths. Now, if you can repeat the process within a different subject, and you find patterns and all kinds of things, you can bring all that back. And I think more often than not, you're going to find material that other people don't have. And if you do it right, your channel will do quite well. Now, what's great about all this is that basically you're doing a service to the rest of us because you're finding those books and you're taking all that information and refreshing it so that it's online. It won't be online for long because, as we know, things disappear. But still, by doing this, you're resurfacing those ideas into the collective again. And from there, anything and everything is possible. It's refreshing our ability to connect the dots, not only historically, but just with alternative energy and whatever subject you're interested in. Guaranteed, you're going to find some very interesting things that in the past just got buried. So basically the idea is this: get to the books, get as many as you can, because as time moves along, guess what's going to happen? All those books are going to be disappearing even faster and faster. Every chance that they get, they try to bury history and records of different things. And so the more we can resurface all of that, the more connections we can make with each other and be so much better off. So my thought is, instead of relying on the internet, I'm going to start diving into those books and resurfacing ideas and seeing what I can find. And I'm pretty excited. Connecting the dots is just the beginning, though. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.